Hello everybody and welcome! We've got another Super Mario Kart Time Trial One Try Tournament matchup. We're in Division 1, we're out of the group stages now and into the elimination brackets. We're in the winner's side of the tournament bracket in the quarterfinals, and we have a matchup between the current world number 12, Firewaster, and the world number 5, Aron Langerak. Firewaster qualified through in 3rd place from Division 1 Group A, and Aron came through Division 1 Group B as the runner-up. This is going to be the match. Each player gets to veto one track from the selection. I believe we've had Aron has vetoed Ghost Valley 3, and Firewaster has vetoed Mario Circuit 1, so we won't be seeing either of those tracks tonight. As the lower of the two seeds, Firewaster will have first choice of track. After that, the loser of the track will have next pick. Person who gets the fastest time on the track gets a point. First to 9 points wins and goes on to the winners' semi-finals to face KVD. The loser will drop down to the lower bracket of the elimination bracket, the lower side of it, and their next match will be a win or go home. So it looks like we're going to be starting off on Donut Plains 2. This, I think, has been a strong track for both players in this competition. Firewaster currently has the second fastest time of the tournament here with a 1:26.84, and Aron's best so far is a 1:27.63. I mean, really, a 1:26 is absolutely phenomenal here. If Firewaster can reproduce that kind of form, Aron will be very hard pressed to keep up. Just having a bit of a sync up there. Hopefully the players both went on go, and that'll be the only sync we need throughout the whole match. As it is, both players are looking very close together. On my screens I'm seeing Aron maybe like 0.2 of a second ahead. But again, I'm not entirely certain how perfectly synced it is. I'm going to assume the SpeedGaming staff have done a near perfect job, and Aron is actually a tiny fraction ahead, but it is only the tiniest of fractions. Wow. Going through, they're kind of... Oh wow, Firewaster dropped a boost. And that's going to give it to Aron with a 1:27.50. So Aron, with the fastest time on that track, is going to take a point. And the first person who gets to 9 points will take the match. So, as the loser of that track, Firewaster gets to pick the next track. It looks like we're going to be going to Cooper Beach 2. Which would be a very good pick for Firewaster, given how well he's driven that track already in this tournament. He has the two fastest times in the tournament so far on Cooper Beach 2, with a 57.23 and a 57.71. Aron's best time here is a 59.71. If Firewaster gets to 57 here, I'm predicting he will win the track. It's had a bit of an uncomfortable start though, so I think the 57 now is out of the window. He's just going to be looking to salvage a sub-minute time. Whereas, wow, okay. So that's quite a big mistake by Firewaster. Aron, if he can keep it on track, keep away from the deep water, should take this one. But honestly, staying out of the deep water is not something you should take for granted on this track. It's very easy to have an awkward fish positioning, try and adapt to it, and clip into the deep water. You only need to put one tiny fraction of a wheel in, and the game will drop you underwater. We've seen a fairly clean race by Aron, just sub-minute, with a 59.79. Firewaster with a 103.02. So Firewaster gets to pick the track again. For anybody who's not too familiar with this game, you'll see the players using what we class as the heavyweight characters, which are Bowser and DK. Those two characters are identical, just pixel swaps. They have the best top speed of all the karts, but the worst acceleration and, air quotes, the worst handling. Though, really what you consider to be the worst handling is probably what you're least used to. And since these players are so used to using DK and Bowser, they probably think that those ones actually handle the best. So we move on to Donut Plains 1. Both players getting the zoom start. That's a very important thing to do. If you miss the zoom start, you'll lose about 4 seconds. So straight off the bat, you want to see these players getting the zoom start every single time. I think probably going to be looking at something like a 112 on this track. Let's see what the players' best times so far have been. So Aron's best here is a 112.51. Firewaster's is a 113.45. And it looks like Aron has about a 1 second lead. But it's incredibly easy here to just catch a bit of grass, slow down. I mean, you'll see the players driving through the grass for large sections, but they do that when they're in a boost. Boosting in this game allows you to drive off-road without any speed loss. Aron with a 112.43 is going to take a 3-0 lead into this match. Yeah, I don't think we can shame either player for not getting a 111, since so far this tournament there's only been one 111 time, and that was by the current world number 1 KVD, aka SMK_machine, who is shaming the players and also being a referee for this match. Okay, going over to Ghost Valley 1. Let's. The big question on this track is always, will anyone go for a platform jump? So if you look at the map, if you look on the lower right hand side, you can see that there is a gap and then a thin stretch of track. It is possible to just jump that gap, land on the thin stretch of track, but it's very, very, very difficult to do, and it saves about 1 second per lap. Typically you only see people going for it once on lap 5, or not going for it at all. Honestly, in this matchup, I very much see Firewaster going for it on lap 5 and Aron not going for it at all. At the moment, the players are looking pretty close together. Maybe a very slight lead for Aron at the moment. Nobody trying a platform jump in the first 3 laps. I'd be very surprised to see anyone go for it on lap 4. So into the final lap, it looks like Aron's extended a slight lead here. We'll see how they come off of this corner as to whether they're going. So Aron's not going for it, and Firewaster is not going for it either. And Aron takes it by about 0.4 of a second. Very nice, very clean races from both. We look at the lap splits on the Firewaster side, laps 2 to 5, all within 0.02 of each other. Aron was a little bit more erratic, but also a little bit faster, basically on every single lap. So that moves Aron to a 4-0 lead. Firewaster gets to pick. And he's picked Vanilla Lake 2. I saw in one of his practice runs he got a 53-second time. Maybe 25 minutes or so ago. That would be an absolutely fantastic thing for him to do here. But Vanilla Lake 2 is one of those tracks where it either looks absolutely beautiful or it looks absolutely shocking. It's incredibly difficult to do. We've had Aron do his best Michael Phelps impression, and Firewaster has also come to a full stop by hitting one of the ice blocks head on. Aron's mistake is a bit more costly, so that gives Firewaster a bit of a gap still. And he's also made his final corner a little easier by taking the ice block out. A bit of slowdown has now brought the two players right neck and neck again. Oh, Firewaster hits the other ice block. So Aron just needs to stay out of the water. But just and staying out of the water on VL2 are not a given. He's through most of the dangerous parts, just the last corner. And Aron takes it with over 1 minute time. It's going to move Aron out to a 5-0 lead. Hopefully we can get Firewaster on the board. So after a pretty awful lap 1 by Aron where he went swimming, laps 2 to 5 were all really good there. You can see he lost probably 5.5 seconds or so on lap 1 with that water sinkage, but the rest of the race was really good. So I can see Firewaster hovering over Bowser Castle 3. Bowser Castle 3 is quite often known as the Great Equalizer. There's a fair bit of RNG involved, and it's also a very, very difficult track in general to just drive at full speed. So it looks like the starts of the two players are a little bit desynced. I'm assuming one person just went a little early or a little late there. So lap 1 is usually a clean lap. All the thwomps are always in the air on lap 1. They're not going to bother you. But laps 2 to 5, they're going to start coming down randomly. You can't really predict where they're going to be. And even if one's up and you try and drive under it, there's always a chance it can just drop straight down on your head. You see Aron having difficulty having all 4 thwomps down at the same time on that narrow passage. That's really what you don't want to see happening, but typically it will happen 1 or 2 laps of the race. So Firewaster looks like he has a nice gap, makes it through. Aron also makes it through quite nicely. So a small lead to Firewaster at the moment. Slightly larger than what it looks like on stream, simply because he went about 1 or 2 seconds after Aron had started. Aron takes a hot bath, jumps into the lava. That's a big time loss on this course. While Firewaster's had a very clean Bowser Castle 3 so far. 1 lap to navigate. If he stays out of the lava, he should win it now, barring getting a thwomp drop right on his head. And Firewaster is going to come round on the board, and it looks like a 1:33. 1:33.23 is a fantastic time on Bowser Castle 3. that will rank as a tournament record. Previous fastest time driven during this tournament was a 1:33.58. That was driven by Anti-Star. See, Aron managed to throw in a swag sub 18 lap 3 there. That's very, very difficult to do, let alone in a one-try situation. But there are no points in this tournament for having the fastest lap. It's purely down to the fastest 5 laps. So, for the first time in this match, Aron is going to have choice of track. And it looks like we're going to Mario Circuit 2. So there's a technique in Mario Circuit 2 called the long boost, where you see the zippers which bump you over the kind of crossing in a road. There is a way where when you're on the zippers, if you hop such that you hit the wall just in front of the zippers, bounce back and go across the zippers for a second time, you'll get locked in a much faster speed state for a period, which typically allows you to save something like 1.5 seconds per lap, but it's very difficult to do. Neither player going for it. You're seeing the standard boost onto zippers to cut a small amount of sand afterwards. Using this strat which the players are doing, they're probably looking for something in the region of a 1:16 or 1:17 finish time. So Aron's out to a little bit of a lead. So both players sticking with a fairly safe strat. Now Firewaster, trying to cut that boost really tight and ends up hitting the wall. And Aron has not gone for any long boosting unless he decides to randomly swag it up on lap 5. This should be his race in the bag. The only thing that can go wrong now for Aron is to try and do a long boost, which he doesn't do. Takes the 1:17 and takes a 6-1 lead. Just to remind anybody who's come in slightly late, we're in the elimination bracket. This is the Division 1 winners bracket quarterfinal match. It's a first to 9 wins, and the winner will go into the semi-final to face off against the current world number 1 KVD. The loser will drop down to the lower bracket where they will face elimination if they lose again. So Firewaster gets the map pick. This is going to be a track where he will be extra incentivized to win. He very much will want to avoid the 7-1, which has become a bit of a tournament meme. Firewaster, being Brazilian 7-1, harks back to the dark days of the 2014 Football World Cup semi-finals, where Germany won 7-1, something which we tease Firewaster about a little bit, especially whenever a 7-1 scoreline comes up on screen. So let's keep our fingers crossed for Firewaster to take this map and take it to 6-2 and avoid the 7-1. So Choco Island 1, there's a wall jump as demonstrated by Aron. However, Firewaster kind of messed up his entry line. You want to stay out of a dark chocolate. If you enter that without a boost, you will get absolutely massive slowdown. It's a surface which will slow you down the absolute most, with the exception of like terminal slowdowns where you fall off track, for example. But this dark chocolate here is the slowest of all the surfaces to drive through. Currently Aron is on a really, really good race at the moment. Looking like he's going to get a 56-second time. Is he going to go? He's going for the track to finish. Turns it right this time. 56.09. Fantastic. We call this maneuver, which we also see Firewaster doing, the tractor. I have no idea why we call it the tractor, but you can repeatedly bump against that wall at the end there, which essentially reduces your speed loss so that you can maintain speed all the way along. And we see scores on the board. Firewaster 1, Aron 7. We'll not dwell on that too much. It's a first to 9 matchup, so Aron needs to take 2 tracks to qualify through. Firewaster needs to win either 8-0 or 8-1 of the remaining tracks. So Firewaster has gone to character select, has taken DK. DK clearly OP. Choosing Rainbow Road. Wow. This is the scene of possibly one of the funniest Division 1 matches we saw, which also involved Firewaster, who I believe won this track with a 2-minute and 1 time, which was... I mean, typically you'd expect these skill level Division 1 players to go sub 1 minute 30, unless they're falling off all over the place, which was something we saw from 2 players in the same matchup, where we had a 201 versus a 205. Hopefully we'll see a 128 and a 129 here. Get some top level exhibition style driving. Biggest problem with this track is that the fastest line is to hop over the void on the exits of the corners. Obviously if you're hopping over nothing, there's a chance you can fall into nothing, and every time you fall off this track you're going to lose a lot of time. The other obstacle is the invincible thwomps. So not only are they thwomps, but they're also invincible, so if you hit them, you don't just slow down, you spin out. It's looking like Aron's having a slightly faster Rainbow Road at the moment, but both players have kept it on track so far. Entering into the final lap, looks like Aron's got about a 1-second lead. And we see Firewaster hitting a thwomp. He's now going to need Aron to fall off the track to have any hope on this match now. Aron makes it around the last corner with a 1:28.15. Wowzers. Let me see how that one stacks up in terms of the tournament records. That's got to be close. Tournament record currently is a 1:27.95 by Anti-Star. That's going to put Aron tied for 3rd on the Rainbow Road tournament records. So we've moved quite swiftly on to match point now. We need Firewaster needs to win the next 8 tracks in a row to qualify. Aron just needs one more race win and he'll be into the semi-finals. So Firewaster has choice of track. Where's he going to take us to? I think we might see a Vanilla Lake 1. I think we're going to switch character to Bowser. He's going to take us to Vanilla Lake 1. Come on, Firewaster. I mean, personally, I want to see Choco Island 2. It's my favourite track. I very much... Bowser Castle 1. Wow. This is traditionally a very, very strong Aron track, Bowser Castle 1. I suppose it is a track where it's very easy to lose a lot of time very quickly. All you have to do is miss one lava hop, hit one thwomp, clip one corner a bit too tight. Obviously on lap 1 all the thwomps are going to be up. You have to hop over six lava jumps every single lap. You don't want to hit those yellow bumpers, they do slow you down. And they also stack, so if you hit one, it's going to slow you down a small amount but not too much. But if you hit 2 in a row or 3 in a row, you'll start losing a lot of speed. We saw Firewaster hitting 1 on each of the sections of 3 there, which doesn't lose too much speed. But Aron comes to a full stop. This is what I was talking about. There is always a risk on this track. Like, you try and take a corner just a little too tight, you catch the edge of the corner rather than going around it. Ooh, Firewaster barely making it around the last corner there. And there's very slight lead to Firewaster at the moment, but the way Aron's been driving, it could be neck and neck by the end. Unless Aron kind of catches another corner and comes to another full stop, and then jumps into a lava. So chances of it being neck and neck at the end now are incredibly slim. Firewaster just needs to stay out of the lava and he'll take his second point and keep this match going. 130-136 is going to be enough to win it for Firewaster. Aron coming home in a 142. So the problem for Firewaster now is that was his last pick of the matchup, because he needs to win every match now to stay in it, and the loser gets to pick, so it's going to be Aron's pick from here to the end. Whether that end is on the next track or in 7 tracks time, we'll have to wait and see. So let's see what, if I was Aron, I would be picking Mario Circuit 3 or 4, I believe. Maybe even Cooper Beach 1, actually. Choco on 2, best track in the game. Very nice. So both players are probably looking for something like a 106 here. But again, it's entirely possible to win it with a 112. Things can go badly wrong on this track. Both players have avoided that first piranha plant. So the key thing on this track is the lake boost. Basically, players will be building up a boost on the entry line up to this lake and then releasing it to cross it and hoping to maintain full speed. Firewaster lost speed on his crossing. So for anyone who doesn't know how boosts are generated in this game, basically you need to power slide for just over a second continuously and then counter steer, and when you counter steer it will release a boost. You see this naturally happening on a lot of hairpins, where you'll know you'll get the boost because you'll hear an upturn in the engine pitch, so the engine sound will suddenly go a bit more higher pitched, and you'll have a slight boost period where you can have a slight increase in speed and also drive over off-road sections without any speed loss. What we see with these players though is that they trick the game into doing a boost in a straight line, and a 107.10 is going to be it. That's going to win the match for Aron Langerak. He's taking a 9-2 victory, and we'll move on to the Division 1 winners semi-finals, where he will face the world number 1 KVD. Firewaster will drop down to the losers bracket, where he will play the loser of, I believe, Lafungo and Antistar. And he will need to win his next match in order to stay in the tournament. So I don't know if we're getting anyone joining us in chat. Let me So while we're waiting to find out if we're going to be joined by either player in chat, let me just run through a few things. So I'm going to throw into chat a link to the tournament information. We have the bracket in there and the schedule in there. Also give both of these runners a follow. We have twitch.tv/Firewaster, twitch.tv/Aron Langerak, all one word. And if you look at the... it looks like I'm joined by Aron. Congratulations, Aron. Just a quick reminder to keep language family friendly today.
Yes, I will. I will. No problem.
90, that's quite a convincing win there. Are you happy with your performance?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised because I just told him I had made a list up with the tracks I wanted to play. And the two at the bottom were Donald Plains 2 and Cooper Beach 2. It was the first two he picked, so... But I won them both, so that was a nice start. But yeah, it was great fun. I was playing pretty good, I think. So yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think with Donald Plains 2, Cooper Beach 2, they're also usually very strong Firewaster tracks as well. I think he had a 126 earlier in the tournament on DP2, and he has the two fastest Cooper Beach 2 times so far this tournament as well. But yeah, Cooper Beach 2, he had a bit of a turn of shame incident on that, where he found Lafungo's wall.
I had a stream open of the SpeedGaming, and it was 8-1. No, it was 8-2. It was 8-2, I believe. And I heard you say that you were hoping that we're gonna play Choco Island 2. So I said in the chat that my plan was to play Ghost Valley 2, but and then we decided we just gave you the Choco Island 2.
Fantastic. Yeah, I was thinking you'd probably choose VL1 or KB1, but you
No, the next one on my list was Ghost Valley 2 or Bose Castle 2. Yeah.
I know Firewaster very much dislikes Ghost Valley 2, so I think he's probably glad not to play it.
I was practicing just for like a quarter or something, so I had 102.7 or something, so I was pretty sure I was going to drive 102, but maybe for the next match.
So next match, into the winners semi-finals, you're going to be playing your fellow Dutchman and current world number 1, KVD. What are your predictions on that one? Yep. Looks like I lost Aron. Okay, looks like we're going back. Yep. Sorry, so I was saying your next match is the winners semi-final against fellow Dutchman and current world number 1, KVD. Do you have any predictions on how you think that match is going to go?
I think it's going to be interesting. It's, with this format is pretty nice because normally, like when I was playing against, I have to say it correct now, Mario 86, there was just some tracks I dislike, and I was like 4-0, 5-0 behind, and then, it gets tough. So in this format, you can pick your tracks so you can keep up. So it can be a fun match, I think. It's going to be close, I hope.
So you're going to go into that one as the lower of the seeds, so you'll have first track pick in the semi-final.
Yeah, so that's nice. Gonna be a close one, I think. I hope, at least.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get a lot of close matches from here to the end. So the other Division 1 match which we're going to be having in the semi-final, we got Lafungo versus Anti-Star. Do you have any preference over the two of those who you'd like to play in the final?
If I win, yeah. Well, no, I don't mind. I really don't mind. But it would be fun to play against Lafungo because we haven't met in this tournament, so that would be my pick then, I guess.
Good. Okay, well, congratulations
again. There was only
again.
one thing I was laughing so hard when it got 7-1. That was so crazy. I could almost not even control my cards anymore at the point because of, but oh well, it was fun. We had fun, so it's alright.
It seems to be happening far too often for it to be a coincidence now. And especially with it being Firewaster, being the Brazilian, being on the losing end of a 7-1. It looks like we've lost Aron again. Not sure if he's going to be coming back, so I'll just wrap things up here. I'm not sure if we have anything scheduled yet for the remaining matches. Let me just have a quick look. See. So,
Yeah, I was disconnected again. Well, anyways, I'm going offline now. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next match again.
Okay, congratulations, Aaron. Yep. So we have a Division 1 winning semi-final match between Antistar and Lafungo is currently scheduled for Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And at some point we'll be scheduling the KVD versus Aron semi-final as well as a number of the Division 2 matches. If you want to keep in track of when these matches are going to be played, there's a link just in the Twitch chat there to the bracket and the schedule. But I'm going to leave it here and say again, congratulations to Aron Langerak making it through to the winners semi-final. Firewaster, although he lost, he's not out. Drops down to the lower bracket where he'll play the loser of Lafungo and Antistar. That's it for me tonight. So just want to say thank you to the millions and millions out there who watched this match. And we'll catch you again next time.